what should a student flying to another country know about flying to another country and studying there and even working?
It's a bunch of things, right? You're basically stepping out of your comfort zone. Like, you've been living, like, let's say, the average age where you probably will go abroad is like 20. So for 20 years, you've been used to a particular system, okay? And that system is going to change completely. Whatever it may be, like, could be a case of how the transport works, or like just basic things like what you eat for breakfast. For example, as Asians, probably, we are used to eating a heavy breakfast. Breakfast is, we are told that it's the most important meal of the day, for example. When you go to France, they don't take breakfast as serious. They will eat like a croissant, okay? Croissant, okay.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
Or pain au chocolat. I think it's always good to like speak to people who are there already, like maybe your friends or someone, or like even read on the internet. Like, everything is there on the internet, and like try to familiarize yourself with some of those things that will change, with things like food. There's a lot of things that will change for sure. Where administrative stuff work, all those things. Like, and I think it's always good to like learn, like what are the things that are common there. Like, for example, like how shopping works, or like going to the bank, how to open a bank account, like what are the processes that are usually followed. But what I would say is it's always better to familiarize yourself, like prepare yourself with certain things, like how long it would take, what would you need to open a bank account, like just things, those basic things. You can always speak to people who are already there and get some sort of an idea. So you don't, it's still going to catch you off guard at certain points, but you can be at least a little bit prepared on different things. Because, for example, my aunt she's been living in France for 30 years, so she told me like different things as to how I can go and approach people, like if I'm opening a bank account. Again, I'm just using the bank account as an example, but just those things. Like, she took me to the shop to show, because even in a shop it's different, right? For example, there you pay for your bags, like the bags you take your stuff in.
It's just city bags.
They pack everything for you. There you have to go and take your bag, and then you show that you're buying a bag, and then you scan it, and then you put your stuff in, all those things. And sometimes you might not know that, because here they do everything for you, which is just another small example. So that's how shopping works there, for example. Maybe you would have traveled to other countries before, and maybe other countries also have that same thing. But if this is the first time you're traveling, and for me it was the first time in some while, because I had gone to France in 2007, and then after that I hadn't gone anywhere. Again, it was in 2021, so there was nowhere new that. But because I went with my aunt and she showed me those things, I learned those. So yeah, of course, it's a massive cultural shift, for sure, especially if you're going from Asia to Europe. It's different. It's a completely different way of life. Like, for example, time zones, and that's something that I found very tough. Not tough, but it was hard to adjust to, because here, we are a tropical country. We're close to the equator. It's a scientific thing. Don't get annoyed that I'm saying it.
I'm pretty sure my audience knows where equator is from.
Okay,
And
sorry for being scientific, but
yeah,
we have
pretty sure you guys know.
Yeah, you have a sunrise and sunset that happens more or less at the same time. 6 o'clock, 6:30 you have sunrise. 6:30 you have sunset. There, during the winter, you get your sunrise at around 10 o'clock in the morning, okay, and then your sunset is at around 4-5, and it's already dark again. Okay, so for someone who's used to let's say, for me, for example, I'm used to getting up, looking at the light. I would get up automatically at around 4, but whether I stay up or go back to sleep depends on the light outside. So in Sri Lanka, when you see the light, it's like 5 or 6, but 5 or 6 in France is during the winter, it's like pitch black, and sometimes the light comes to like 8 or 9. And I actually got late for classes once or twice because just looking at the light. So those are things that.
So you didn't invest in a clock.
I did, but the light was I'm a light kind of guy. I don't know.
You didn't invest in a clock or a watch.
I had a clock, but I couldn't be bothered to. I was like, it's there's still no sunlight, so you know what? You check. So yeah, what I mean is getting used to the sleep schedules.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like you might have certain certain processes that you follow with your sleep schedules. It's just good to familiarize. it could help. But you will get familiar to that, when you continue to that, when you continue living that sort of lifestyle, sooner or later you pick it up and it'll become part of your lifestyle. So it's not something to be stressed about, but it's always good to know something about it before you go.